Everyone on base knew Captain Riley Marks as the sharpest, toughest USMC officer around, confident, witty, and impossible to impress. So when she joked with a quiet janitor during morning inspection and casually asked, "Hey, got a call sign too, Dad?" she expected a laugh. But the moment he answered, the hallway froze. His voice didn't shake. His eyes didn't blink. He simply said two words that changed everything. "Sticky 6. And the captain, battle-hardened, fearless Captain Marks, went silent. Because she knew exactly who that was. What she didn't know was the story behind the man holding a mop instead of a rifle. The day began like any other at Camp Holloway. Recruits marched in tight squares, engines roared from the motor pool, and the morning sun glimmered across the asphalt. Yet in the middle of this disciplined chaos, a single dad named Ethan Hale pushed a yellow mop bucket toward the admin building. His back was slightly hunched, his hands worn, his uniform plain gray. Nothing about him said Marine. At least, not anymore. Ethan kept his head down, earbuds in, listening to the last voicemail from his daughter Lily before school. She was 9, bright, full of questions about everything. "Dad, don't forget my science fair today. You promised sticky note on your lunchbox," she had said. He replayed it 3 times. Her voice kept him moving, even on days his body begged him not to. Inside the admin hallway, Captain Riley Marks was performing her daily quick inspection rounds, clipboard under one arm, coffee in the other, her tone sharp enough to cut through steel. The Marines around her straightened up like someone had tightened invisible ropes. Riley was respected, admired, and slightly feared. Her leadership was as unforgiving as it was effective. She spotted Ethan calmly mopping near the communication wing. He nodded politely. Most officers just passed him. He blended into the walls. But Riley noticed the patch on his mop bucket, a faded eagle insignia covered by scuffs and scratches. Something about it nagged at her. "Morning," she said, voice playful but carrying that authoritative undertone only a Marine could have. Ethan looked up, warm smile. "Morning, ma'am. You got a name, Janitor Dad?" she teased lightly. "Or maybe," she paused, smirking, "a call sign?" The few Marines around chuckled. Ethan didn't. For a brief moment, his eyes held something old and deep. Memories no one else in that hallway could see. He set the mop aside, stood straighter, a posture so sharp it seemed to be carved from a previous life. "Call sign?" he repeated quietly. Riley nodded, expecting a shy answer, maybe a joke. He inhaled once. "Sticky 6. Silence. Absolute silence. A pen dropped somewhere and rolled across the floor. One Marine's mouth opened slightly as recognition hit him. Riley froze. Because Sticky 6 wasn't just a nickname. It was a legend. A ghost story instructors whispered at night. The code name of a recon specialist who had dragged his entire wounded team through a collapsing compound while enemy fighters hunted them room to room. Sticky, because he stuck with his men no matter what. 6, because he was always at their backs. He had saved 6 Marines, and lost everything else in the process. Riley's eyes darted to his hands, scarred, stiff, healed badly. Her throat tightened. "You're that Sticky 6? She whispered. Ethan shrugged lightly, almost embarrassed. "Was. Now I mop floors." No one breathed. Riley opened her mouth, but Ethan lifted a hand, gentle, humble. "I'm just trying to get through the day, ma'am. Got a daughter counting on me." He returned to the mop. The conversation was over for him. But for Riley? It was just beginning. That night, when the base lights dimmed and the recruits quieted, she couldn't shake the image of the janitor walking alone across the empty courtyard. A hero buried by silence. A father fighting battles no battlefield had trained him for. And she wondered what it really cost someone to go from a call sign spoken with respect, to a name no one noticed. The next afternoon, during lunch break, Riley found Ethan sitting on a bench behind the supply building eating a simple sandwich from a brown bag. She approached quietly. He noticed her shadow before he heard her boots. "Mind if I sit?" she asked. Ethan looked unsure but nodded. For a few seconds Heather spoke. The wind carried the faint sound of trainees yelling cadence in the distance. Riley finally cleared her throat. Why didn't you tell anyone? He gave a soft laugh. About what? That I used to wear a uniform? Everyone on this base used to wear a uniform. Some still do. That's not what I mean and you know it. She pressed gently. Sticky Six was talked about in my platoon. You saved lives. He stared ahead. Not all of them. The pain in his voice was so raw it felt like the world should stop for it. Riley softened. Ethan, survival isn't failure. He shrugged. Sometimes it feels like it. A moment later, his phone buzzed. A picture appeared on the screen, Lily smiling beside a volcano model made of cardboard and paint. My whole world, he said with a smile that cracked through his sadness. Science fair today, right? Riley asked. His smile faded. I'm on double shift. A pipe burst in the north wing. I can't leave. Riley stood abruptly. Yes, you can. He blinked. Ma'am? You're going, she said firmly, Marine mode activated. I'll authorize coverage. No daughter should stand alone waiting for a parent who never shows. Ethan's eyes glistened in disbelief. Captain, I don't know what to say. Say you run, she said. You're late. And he did. Riley watched him sprint across the courtyard, something fierce and alive in his stride. A glimpse of the Marine he once was, and still was, beneath everything. Later that evening, Ethan returned breathless, carrying a ribbon and a glitter-covered project. His face glowed with the kind of joy no medal could ever match. She won second place, he said proudly. Said I was her good luck charm. Riley smiled. Sounds like Sticky Six is still saving people. But Ethan shook his head. Not Sticky Six. Just... Dad. Riley paused, then spoke with quiet admiration. Maybe that's the greatest call sign of all. For the first time, Ethan truly looked at her, not as an officer, not as someone above him, but as someone who saw him. The base lights flickered on overhead, washing the courtyard in soft gold. Riley extended her hand, not a salute, not an order, but respect. Welcome home, Marine, she said. Ethan swallowed hard, shook her hand, and whispered, Thank you, ma'am. He wasn't just a janitor anymore. He was a hero rediscovered. A father redeemed. A story no one would forget again. And somewhere deep inside, the call sign Sticky Six lived on, not as a legend of war, but as a reminder that even the quietest people might be carrying the loudest stories.